The Oregon Economic and Community Development Department is in the business of helping business grow in Oregon. OECDD works to retain and expand existing Oregon businesses as well as attracting new businesses to the state. Job retention is OECDD's first priority. Keeping Oregon businesses thriving is critical to Oregon's economy. Just look at one company that we helped retain here in Oregon. Murphy Company engineered wood products in Sutherlin. Murphy Company employed hundreds of Oregonians in a small town before a devastating fire leveled the mill in 2005. This rural Douglas County company faced some tough rebuilding decisions after the fire.
We bought the mill actually in February of 1985. Grew the business over that 23-year period to about 300 employees.
On July 4, 2005, employees discovered a fire that was quickly consuming the mill. John Murphy clearly remembers the phone call that afternoon.
I was in the Eugene area and just had returned from a weekend with my family and had called the office just to check in, and the receptionist told me that they had called for the fire department. There was a dryer fire that they felt they needed some help on. I was down within an hour and a half and came in the building. The sprinklers were all working. Water was over I remember having street shoes on. Water was over my ankles. There was that much water in the complex trying to put this fire out that was in the rafters. We fought it for several hours, thought we had it under control a couple of times, and eventually it broke through the roof, and the rest was history. It came down very quickly. The fire started at noon and it was on the ground by 6 o'clock. The whole complex, we lost over 200,000 feet of building. And of course, we lost our jobs.
300 employees in a community of 4,000 lost their jobs that day.
It was a day we'll all remember and a sad day for our employees. I knew in my heart it was going to be a lot of decision making and probably a couple years before we were back doing something.
OECDD has business development officers located throughout the state to work with local businesses. Business Development Officer Chris Claflin heard about what happened and called John Murphy to see how the state could help.
Well, I was contacted about a week after the fire by the state Economic Development Office. It gave me some reassurances that we were going to get a lot of help. And they came in many ways, economic and a lot of moral support getting through this permit process.
Murphy looked at the options on the table and considered moving the mill out of Oregon. OECDD didn't want to see that happen.
If we hadn't had the partnership from the state of Oregon, I'm certain that we probably would not be in Southern Oregon today. It's just that simple. We would have probably looked at some of the other operations that have been offered to us. Outside of other counties and states, we had other members of the industry calling us to buy their operations, existing operations. And we would have probably taken an easier approach.
OECDD stepped in to assist Murphy Company, bringing all the local and state partners together to streamline the rebuilding of their new facility. In addition, the department provided a loan to train workers on the company's new high-tech equipment. The equipment supports them in producing an engineered wood product that competes with steel in the global market.
We're able to compete in this market because of the new facility. We're very proud of this mill. It's state-of-the-art. It's the lowest cost engineered lumber plant in North America today. And thanks to the state of Oregon, we've been able to make this all happen. I think the state's been imperative in our decision process.
Murphy Company isn't the department's only success story. For the Oregon Economic and Community Development Department, keeping the state's businesses strong and growing is the backbone of what we do every day. In fiscal year 2008, working with partners all over the state, we helped retain over 3,000 Oregon jobs for businesses just like John Murphy's. And the department helped create more than 3,500 new jobs across a broad spectrum of industries, setting the stage for a prosperous future for all Oregonians. Oregon Economic and Community Development Department, creating prosperity the Oregon way.